Hey folks, you're just catching me here as I'm doing my kind of pizza box list of jobs to do on the Panzer. And what I thought I would do today is do a slightly different video. I'm not really in the mood to do a whole lot of work today because I've got a combination of hay fever and some kind of a flu, and I'm just kind of wasted. I thought I could make an opportunity out of this to kind of just talk to you guys a little bit about this channel and about the various projects, and just kind of give a generalized update. So making a list like this is kind of good. I've been watching a channel that I found recently called B is for Build, and the guys there tend to make lists like this, which I think is a good plan. And it's quite a good channel, quite entertaining, and I'll put a link in the description to them. Very good general car stuff going on there without the usual big budget trappings of some of the other channels. But back to what's going on here. Well, the Panzer is the big project at the minute. I have a lot of work to do on it. So about 4 weeks ago there, I did the NCT, which is the national car test on the car, and got a whole 2-page long of problems that need to be fixed. Then of course what happened to me was that every weekend in the last 4 weeks I've had to do something else. I've had some medical problems with family members and so on, that then I had to go visit friends. I just totally took away all of my spare time. So from the list here of things, the only 2 that I managed to get done are 2 of the most simple ones. Was to replace the number plates and replace a broken lens cluster, lamp cluster thingy on the back. So for NCT, I still have all of this stuff to do. We'll be running through that in a video coming up, and then I've just made a list of the other bits that I want to do with the car, particularly during the summer now, to get it so that it's kind of where I need it to be by the time winter comes in. So that's the Panzer. So we got to get through the NCT. And then I got to fit the rest of the cells. I got to do wheel alignment. I got to fit the Brusa charger. I have to fit a Chademo fast charging system. I have to look at painting it, and also potentially I'm looking at putting a different drive system in it, namely this thing here. So why would I be thinking about that? Well, I know I'm going to get a whole load of I told you so's here, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But what I found is the automatic gearbox is very good for the performance end of the car, like for accelerating and having the gears to give a mechanical assistance. And I've done some tweaking on the software and stuff, and I've got it to a point like that it does work very well. Now it's still semi-automatic shifting. I haven't implemented RPM pickups and stuff like that. But that's not something I'm too worried about. If I wanted to do it, I can, because it's just triggering the subroutines that already exist. And so I'm happy enough to do that manually. But on the recent trip to the NCT centre, albeit I've only got about 2/3 of the battery in the car, the efficiency was kind of crappy. And I know a lot of people did tell me about that when I was looking at using the 5HP24. So, okay guys, I surrender. I was wrong. The internet was right. But one thing though did become quite apparent, and that was the car loves, I'm going to pronounce my THs here now because someone else thinks that when I say third, I mean third. I don't, I mean third, THIRD. The car loves third gear. So third gear in that box, if I can remember this now, is I think it's, I have to look it out. I think it's a 0.7 or a 0.8 to 1 or something like that. And also the AC motor, it just revs on. The one thing about that was that I had it initially limited to 3000 RPM. I pushed that up to 4000 RPM, and what I found was the car just keeps pulling. I know that the torque curve should lean off as the revs on the rotor come up, the back EMF comes up to match the battery voltage, but even though I'm only at 250 to 260 volts, the kind of, this is the, oh, what's the word? The sustenance of the torque is just, seems to be just continuous. It's very like the Nissan Leaf, and even then, you know, it doesn't seem to tail off the way the Leaf's acceleration tails off. But anyway, I'm going around a long loop here, sorry guys. This is probably going to be a long video, so don't blame me if you don't watch it or skip over it or whatever. So, quite by accident recently, I got a chance to get one of these motors here. It's these are out of one of these Smith Transit vans, to the best of my knowledge, from the UK. There's a bit of a story behind that I won't go into today, that's for another day. But this is apparently a 90 kilowatt induction motor here, liquid cooled. It's got this 2-to-1 reduction box on here. I got an inverter as well, which that'll be the subject of another video. It's quite an interesting piece of kit. But it's designed for a rear wheel drive, unlike ones that mostly designed for front wheel drive, like the e-gear drive and stuff like that, or Tesla drivetrains. This is designed for, well, Tesla's a rear wheel drive, but it sits in the back, whereas this would be designed to sit in a front and just use a drive shaft. So I got to spin this thing up. That'll be the subject of some new videos, calculate the reduction. I've been told it's slightly less than 2-to-1, and some quick maths on one of these internet calculator things tells me that, oh, can I remember any of this, that at 4000 RPM on the motor I'd be doing 80 miles per hour with this thing doing direct drive. So that would be good. It would also let me lose 138 kilograms of weight out of the car, which is not insignificant, and I would also lose the complexity of the automatic gearbox. So that's one avenue that we may be looking into. I have it here as new motor on my semi-pizza box list. Paint. Gotta paint the car. Probably don't know if I'm going to do that myself. I'll probably have a go and make a mess out of it. Yeah, so that's kind of the Panzer, guys. The other thing I was thinking about using this for was, of course, the drift car. I was thinking, you know, potentially having that reduction box in there might be ideal, but I'm not sure about that either. Still keen to use one of those Siemens motors for that project, but I gotta switch my aim back to the Panzer. Very much so now, because we're into June now, so you know, in this country you seem to get maybe 3 months of fine weather out of 12, so I have to try to capitalise on that, because the shed here is just not big enough to put a car in. I've got so much crap in here now I need to get sorted out. I can pull a front or put a rear in, but you can't really work under the car or do anything like that, so it's a little bit limiting what I can do when, excuse me, when the weather is not being helpful. Okay, so what else have I been doing? What else have I been doing? Sometimes I don't really know what I'm doing. Recently, I've been going through kind of a bad spot personally, for anyone that cares, and I was actually considering packing the whole thing up. Just basically sitting here making a video, thanking everyone for your support, and yeah, we're finished here. I'm not going to do that. Got myself through that with some help, and I'm not going to do that, folks. I'm coming up to 7 years into this now, and it's been one of the most fulfilling and most rewarding endeavours that I've ever endeavoured to do. Okay, so the other, Panzer, yeah. The only thing I want to do with the Panzer is I want to make the Panzer a long range car. And short of getting myself 20 or 25 grand's worth of Tesla cells, I need to try to work out a means to do that. Now, one of the plans, excuse me, one of the plans that I've been rattling around in my head, and you know, please comment on this, is, you know, one of the reasons I'm sitting there talking to you guys is to get some feedback. But please don't tell me just go buy 25 grand's worth of Tesla cells, because if I had 25 grand to spare, that's exactly what I would do. But what I'm thinking of is I'm going to obviously put in the rest of the leaf cells that I have there. And if I could get my hands on another... Oh, sorry. Didn't sleep well last night with this flu, hay fever combo either, as you can probably tell. So, one of the things I was thinking about doing is to come along and get maybe another pack of leaf cells, if I can, and make them into a removable module that would slot into the boot, so I could have a beam going across the shed here, just reverse the car in, lift it up on a little chain block, car in, drop it in, have two, kind of big king post type things that I just drop down onto, quick connect the battery in, and I'm gone. It does mean you'll lose a lot of the boot space, but it's, the Panzer is not the kind of car you want to take to the shops for, collecting bags of groceries. So that's one idea. It's not my idea, by the way. That belongs to a friend of mine that'll probably smile if he hears me saying this, because I fought him on this for some time, some years ago, when he suggested it to me. But sometimes that's what it takes to get ideas to take root in my head anyway. So what else have I been doing? Well, project that I finished recently, and I do a lot of video on this, and I don't know if it's something that you guys would be interested in, but before I got the whole EV bug, I was very much into, and I still am into, alternative fuels for traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. And at one point, you know, maybe I don't know, 10 years ago, probably more now, I experimented with making biodiesel and making a CHP system for my house, which is a combined heating and power, using an automotive diesel engine to drive a generator and heat water simultaneously. And I did a lot of experiments and stuff like that. Sorry. So, 3 years ago, pretty much, yeah, 3 years ago now. Was it 3 years ago? No. Yeah, 3 years ago, 2013. 2013. No, I'm wrong here. I'm totally wrong. I moved here in the autumn of 2012, and I immediately had to take up a different job to the one that I had at that time. And I was kind of not in a good space in my life. I was pretty much just working to live. But where I was working was a 90-mile round trip commute to where I live now. It was 45 miles there, 45 miles back. At the time, the only car that I had was the black E36 that you may be familiar with, that I sold there late last year. And that car had, you know, nominally 10 amp hour, or not 10 amp hour, 10 kilowatt hour headway battery in it, but you know, it just really wouldn't have been able for that, you know, 45-mile continuous journey. I had a loan of a petrol car for some time, but as the kind of reality sank into me that, you know, this is what I'm going to be doing for some time, I thought to myself, well, you know, you've been given lemons, so let's go make lemonade. And around May of 2013, I set out to buy a petrol car for myself, and it's kind of a testament to where my head was at the time that I purchased a car that I really shouldn't have. It was a green E36 318 compact, and of course when I look back on this now, it had all of the, well, certainly had some initial signs of catastrophic head gasket failure, but my head wasn't in the right spot, so I bought the car and started doing loads of work on it and fixed loads of the problems on it and that, and you know, I was making lemonade. But my kind of thoughts about, well, you know, I can't build an electric vehicle out of this, I don't have the funds to do that, but I was working on the land yacht at the time. I was getting everything that I could done on it, apart from being able to get too many calb cells for it. So when I kind of looked around and I kind of wanted to do some kind of alternative fuel stuff for it, and unfortunately Ireland is, how do I say this, I don't want to offend anyone here, but Ireland is a highly conservative country, and I don't just mean in terms of politics or religion or stuff like that. I mean more in terms of, even if you look at alternative fuels and stuff for cars, you go to any filling station forecourt here You got two choices. You can have petrol or you can have diesel. And everyone loves diesel. That's a subject of another video. I'm not gonna, this will probably be way too long anyway, so I better start getting to the point, hadn't I? So anyway, but there was one thing happening that a lot of the Eastern European and particularly Polish people that have came into this country basically had started setting up LPG conversion shops and LPG fueling stations. You could actually get your car converted to LPG, and you could buy gas for, at the time, pretty much half the price of petrol. And I kind of looked at this and I thought, wow, yeah, okay, this could kind of work out for me. So I had this green E36 and I said, right, okay. The cost of the system was about a grand fitted. I kind of saved up for maybe 2 months, and I went and I got the car converted to LPG, and the guys that did a very good job. It was a Stag LPG system, fully computerized, sequential injection, the whole 9 yards. Not one of these things that, you know, blows the intake manifold off the minute the mixture goes out of spec. This is a proper system. I got a big tank, had a big, you know, big cylindrical tank in the boot, and I was a happy man because I was paying, you know, my fuel bill went from over €100 a week down to about 45, so I'm thinking brilliant. Of course, about a month later, the car blows up, not the gas, but the head gasket blew up on the side of the road. And that actually turned out to be the catalyst for me to do a complete career change, and it's worked out very well for me, thank God. But I got the car recovered back here, and you know, I kind of made that mental choice that, okay, the car's dead, you know, this career that I'm in is not working out for me, it's time to change careers. You know, the car blew up, and by extension my career blew up. So I thought, okay, you know, I want to save this LPG system. I probably only had 3, maybe 4,000 miles on it total. I hadn't even had it in for its first filter change. So I stripped it out. Stripped out all the LPG stuff and hid it away. I had sat there for 3 years now. Until recently, I kind of got bitten by the bug again. And I have a yellow 95 E36 coupe, which I've kind of kept as a sort of a backup stroke long range car, at least until the Panzer is doing what I need it to do. I can talk about charging infrastructure and fast chargers and all that, because I didn't think I'd need it with the demo stuff, but as you know from a few years ago, last year or whatever, that didn't quite work out for me. So, but I'll be back to that, and I'm digressing again, and apologies. And this video is going to be all over the place. So anyway, recently I got that LPG system back out, and I basically put it in the car, put it in what I call the yellow submarine, and it's working. It's working away happy. So I've probably got about 6 to 7 hours of raw footage on that. So I'm thinking about making a short little closed video series, or maybe even one long video similar to this one about that. So if that's of any interest to you guys, then you know, let me know. Sorry. And I'd be happy to make a little short series out of that, because it's just amazing insofar as that there are so many there's so many other alternative fuel stuffs out there for internal combustion engines that could do a hell of a lot to mitigate the negative effects of them. You're still in this thing whereby, this was actually brought home to me because I hadn't really done a big job on an internal combustion engine for years. I kind of help people, change oil and stuff like that, but I'd never done a really big job, excuse me, on an internal combustion engine for the better part of a decade now. And going back at that and finding all the things that annoy me about it, not just, it's just getting at stuff and, finding space to work and taking parts in and out and all the bits, it's amazing. I kind of just looked into this thing and there's so much stuff, there's so much wire and hoses and flipping all kinds of things moving. In one sense, it's amazing that it all works together so well, but I think having been exposed to, the simplicity of, well, here's a motor, I got 3 wires and I got an encoder plug and I'm done. There's my flange, that's power, put electricity in here and rotating motion comes out there. I don't have any vacuum systems or fuel injection systems or any of that stuff here. But anyway, I'm digressing again. But it just brought it home to me that, these things are just really, really simple compared to engines. But nonetheless, I do think that, particularly with all the stuff that's been falling out in recent months, about all the diesel stuff, I haven't commented on that. I don't even know if I should be commenting on it or whether I should be commenting on it in this video, but I'm in a ranting mood, as you can probably tell by now, so why the hell not? But the whole thing about diesel emissions and fuel efficiencies being, not quite what they should be. It's just, it's just not at all surprising to me. You also look at recently, say, about 80% of cars in this country are diesel cars, and are also fairly modern diesel cars. Certainly, I think very few. Well, probably, I think I'm certainly the only person in my work that drives an electric car. Most other people drive diesels. And there was a spate in recent months of all these cars having particular breakdowns. And all of those breakdowns were related to emission control systems. And I kind of looked at it and that was just not at all surprising. The amount of stuff that's bolted on to these engines now, not simply to make them run, but to try to make them run cleanly, is just out of this world. So things break down. So that's certainly what happened there. And I think the more that governments want cleaner vehicles, the more that because the automakers are caught with 2 competing demands. They're caught by a downward pressure on price. Everything's got to be getting cheaper. And they've already done a lot of they've got a lot of the low-hanging fruit in terms of making stuff cheaper. So there's a drive down on price, and then there is the desire for ever increasing cleaner emissions. It's not very good English, but so it's got to be cheaper, but it's got to have more emission control systems in there. And yeah, you know, that's it. I think, hopefully, I mean, I really want to live to see EVs take off. I really do. I mean, there's still even quite a rarity on the roads here. But it's really good to see that, you know, you've got a reasonable chance of seeing one now when you go out driving. So that's a good thing. One other thing, just to finish my kind of slightly anti-diesel rant here, is the noise the damn things make. I mean, I remember I was recently standing beside a brand new, whatever it is, I don't really know the numbers anymore, but a brand new 2016 registered BMW 520D, and the guy starts it up and it sounds like a Massey Ferguson. I mean, really? There was another car maker's ad on a bus shelter that I saw recently that said, oh, this was the pinnacle of technology. And I actually stopped and I looked at it and I said to myself, I really hope not, because if that's the pinnacle of technology, we're goosed. Okay, guys, so this has turned into a real rant. Sorry, didn't really think I'd be talking this long. I'm already hoarse, so not helping you listening to me and probably not helping me talking, but hey. I'll probably just upload this raw, you know, skip through it if you don't want to listen to me. I probably don't blame you, because I don't want to listen to me much either. But we'll be back shortly with regularly scheduled broadcasts, Panzer project and so on. Let me know what you think about this motor swap thing, please. I'm quite interested to get some feedback on that. What else is? Oh yeah, I've had a few people recently posting comments on some of the videos that I did with the Nissan Leaf there about a year or so ago, and the CHAdeMO work. I was kind of looking at various CHAdeMO options. And I know that I haven't been back to that. I know that's kind of disappointed people in a way, and I am sorry for that. It's not dead, guys. I do have plans for it. I was even recently given a kind of an extended loan of a Fujikuru or it's Fujikuru or Fujikawa CHAdeMO plug, the full-on fast charging plug. So I have a little idea germinating in my head here to do a project around a 10 or 11 kilowatt DIY home fast charging station. And I think I have a way that would make that quite simple really to do. It would dodge the whole minefield of having to do the power electronics and so on. So it's actually sitting on the bench behind the camera there. So yeah, there might be a way to do that. So anyway, not dead. Sorry I haven't been back to it. A lot of projects going on, a lot of stuff going on in my life. Okay, I better wrap this up because I got enough. I got to stop talking and get working, because, work rather than talk. Guys, thanks a lot for the support, by the way. The Patreon campaign's been going very well. Thank you for supporting me on that. Thanks for the general support. Website, have it up and running, evbmw.com. Need to do a lot more work with it. Check it out, please. I've been trying to play with my video editing skills, which are kind of crappy, to get put a banner in here or something. I don't know. I'll try to do it. Anyway, I gotta go get some juice because my throat's dry. Your ears are probably sore. So Folks, thanks a lot, and we'll be back soon, and thanks for all the support. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, leave me a comment letting me know what you think, and yeah, back soon.